When I get up in the morning, I have a decision to make. Do I go to work or do I go for a run first? And then in the evening, it's the same thing. What time am I going to get home? Is it too late to go for a run? Should I run? Should I go to a sleep? What do I do? These are challenges that I face with my work schedule. And I want to be able to run a 100-mile race. How do you fit in the time to run? I want to run 2 hours each day, and it works until it doesn't work. Hey, I'm David. I'm the plant-powered runner. And a little bit of my story, so you kind of get to know who I am if you're new to my channel, is, I'm a guy who likes to run, who's changed his life through running, lost 100 pounds, gained, a little bit back over the years. But, I started this YouTube channel to kind of keep myself accountable to my running. And over the last 3 years, I have gone from not really running very much to running an ultra marathon in 2020. I did a 50 miler, and it was a fantastic adventure. And then for 2 years, I had to deal with a little bit of injury and lack of motivation and, just not being able to kind of get back into running again. And then this year, things have really started to change for me. And I've really kind of ramped things up. I'm able to run for 2 hours pretty much every day for quite a bit of time. But over the last couple of weeks, things have kind of slowed down just because of work and just kind of struggling to kind of get through that, trying to find that right balance. And that's always a challenge for me because of my career. And so, I don't want to sacrifice sleep. I would rather not run, even though it's hard to say that. But, or maybe run just a little bit less. I don't do all of my running, 2 hours every day. I've experimented with so many different things. That's just one of my latest adventures to do to kind of kickstart myself, into these longer runs, because I plan on running a 100-miler one day, and that's going to be hard. So trying to fit all the training in while I'm working is just my daily challenge. And then, knowing that, there's still a little bit more weight to drop. I mean, I've dropped quite a bit this year. I think I'm down 20 pounds already. And I'm just going to continue kind of go down that road. So anyways, this is a little bit about me and a little bit about kind of what I'm going through. As you can see, I'm not running because things have happened and I need to talk about it. And I need to figure my stuff out because this won't go well in the future if this continues to happen to me. So things have been really busy. Oh my gosh, I can't begin to explain to you what happened with work other than, it's been a while since I've actually gone running. And I'm embarrassed to say that because I have a running channel, right? So I should be out running on trails and talking about all the benefits and, how amazing 2-hour runs are and heart rate training. But really, guys, life gets in the way sometimes. Sometimes I just don't have the bandwidth to just get out there and do what I need to do. Look, certain things come before running. And yes, I know running is healthy and running is great for me and all that. But I got to get sleep. And there's been a lot of days that I'm not getting home until sometimes midnight. And when you're getting home really late, trying to decompress before going to sleep to then have to wake up, I can't burn the candle at both ends. And if that's the issue with me, with this whole trying to run faster and whatnot, using a little heart rate training, and look, the Maffetone method is working extremely well. It's doing what it's supposed to do. However, like I said, the last 2 weeks, running has not been a very, it's kind of taken a little bit of a back seat, so to speak. And it's just because of work. It's because of my hours that I work. It's because trying to fit things sometimes in the day when you're in a season where it gets really busy and it gets busy the weirdest times, And usually I can get out for a run first thing in the morning and it's no problem. However, I've been having to kind of wake up a little earlier and earlier each day to be able to make that happen. But what's happened now is there's a lot more people that I'm working with and I'm trying to find them homes, but it's early in the morning now. Well, it's early in the morning and I'm on my way to an appointment in cottage country. I'm on my way to my first appointment for the day, and it is a little bit away from where I live. So anyways, I've been up early, I've been driving, and yeah, I kind of found my way over to one of these places again. However, this time it's going to be different. It's just a washroom break, guys. I'm not going to eat there. I have my running clothes with me, so who knows? I'm going to see if I can maybe get a run in later today. I have to wake up even earlier, and if I'm going to bed later because I'm still out with people trying to find, it's this vicious cycle. Now look, this isn't an excuse. This is just kind of giving you, the realities of trying to fit things in, right? Trying to make a priority. And just do what you need to do. Look, could I go ahead and run maybe 30 minutes? Yeah, probably. That's why I'm out walking right now. Just, it's early in the morning right now, guys. And I'm just trying to scout out where my clients are looking for a place. And this amazing trail system down here in Glen Abbey in South Oakville. Beautiful area. But I thought, I'd come down here, just kind of see what's here and maybe get a run in a little bit later, but that may not happen either, because just like 20 minutes ago, I had another client of mine message me and say, hey, Dave, can you show us a couple places over in this location? So I'm off going to that location. So there's a lot of driving in my work. There's a lot of last minute appointments, and I just have to be okay with that. And I am. So let's talk about what's happened in the last month with my running using the Maffetone method, running slowly, running for 2 hours, and how I saw some really great benefits. And are they going to continue even though I've kind of taken a little bit of a break here? So let's talk about that. Okay, you want to talk about crazy. Last night I got a flat tire after my showing. So I was going to get out, try to get a run in, but I had to wait for the tow truck driver to come, because here's the crazy thing. You go and get your car serviced and they put on new tires and they got the air gun and the right? But man, have you guys ever tried to take one of the tires off after they do that? And they, Toyota gives you these tiny little, wrenches to get it off. It's like there's no leverage, right? Like it's this tiny little thing. And so the torque that they put them on with these air guns, it's crazy. You can't get the thing off. So, it's a good thing I had roadside assistance, because, I was able to call and get the guys to come out. But even he got out there and he's got his wrench or whatever to take the bolts off, which is fine. But on top of that, he has to have this corrugated piece of metal pipe that's like 4 feet long to give you the leverage to get this thing off. Like, oh my gosh, it was insane. So like this whole adventure was like 2.5 hours, last night. I mean, I didn't get home till like 1 o'clock in the morning. No run, no nothing. Like, these are unforeseen things that happen that I deal with. But man, so anyways, I'm driving my wife's car today, but I think I can salvage the tire, because the tire's got this metal piece just went in just like a knife and butter. It's like, oh. Anyways, here's what it is. 39 steps up. That would be good if I lived in this area. I'd run stairs. That would be awesome. But I don't have stairs where I am. I have crazier things where I am. But anyways, it'd be nice. Like on either side of these side of the trees and everywhere else I was, I mean, we're talking like multi-million-dollar homes. Really, really nice places. Glen Abbey in Oakville is a beautiful, beautiful area. And anyways, yeah, this is the trail system. So this is a bonus for anyone that lives in this area. So here's a fact that I found while running for 2 hours every day for close to a month. And I'm quite surprised with how things went. Look, it's not for everybody. Everyone has their own fitness level. Everyone has their own injury tolerance and whatnot. So for me, I knew that I was coming up in the busy season, which is where I am now, which I've kind of just talked about. And I knew if I didn't kickstart these longer runs, I would have a tougher time in the fall. So I'm very grateful that I started this. Now, 2 hours every day, again, it's not for everybody. And in running these 2 hour runs, I did learn a little bit about myself, and I learned about my tolerance, and I learned about sleep, and I kind of went through all these emotions to figure out what worked best. And for me, the one thing that I have to do is I have to get 7 hours, 8 hours if I can, if I want to see kind of like good results with my running, and kind of forgo a lot of those kind of injury prone things that have happened to me in the past. And so running for 2 hours allowed me to kickstart my running. First off, allowed me a lot of time to think. You know, you're out there running for 2 hours, your mind goes to all kinds of different places. And, you know, I ran when I was stressed out. I ran when I had, lack of sleep. I've run so many different variations. And I've even run when it's hot, when it's cooler. Like the weather's been all over the place, to be quite honest. And so I've had a little bit of challenges trying to, stick to that heart rate. But I wanted to do that because I know that running using the Maffetone method works. And again, it's an arbitrary technical number. I mean, there's so many different methods out there, right? You could take, 170 minus your age and come up with a number, or 190 and, like 190 minus, 120 and come up with there's just so many different things that you could do. So that being said, for me to run faster using the same low heart rate, I was able to do that in technically less than a month. I was able to run 1 kilometer further. 1 kilometer, that's a lot, right? Like if you think about it, and the pace that I was running, technically, it's about, let's say 7:20, right? 7 minutes and 20 seconds faster in a month. And so for a lot of people out there saying, you know what, Dave, it doesn't work for me, or you've been running for a while and you've been able to do this. And yeah, look, everyone's different, right? Everyone's going to have a different result from this. But if you kind of stick to it, right? If you put your head down and say, look, I'm going to do this for a period of time. I'm going to try it out. I'm going to measure the results, and I'm going to see what happens. And if you're succeeding, then cool, continue on, because that's a good thing. But if you're not, then you may need to change it up, right? You need to maybe add some tempo runs, threshold runs, hill repeats, whatever it is, right? You may have to do that. But for me, it worked. However, now that, I've had a little bit of time off, not a lot, but I've had a little bit of time off. It's not like I haven't run. I mean, this week's been pretty bad. I've run one day. Last week was 3 days. And that's kind of where things, like the last 2 weeks have been really, really hard work-wise. And I need to prioritize sleep. That is the number one thing for me. But I'll tell you what, though, eating habits have changed, right? So in those 30 days of running using low heart rate training, I was able to adjust my eating habits. I was able to adjust my sleeping habits. I was able to run further. I was able to run technically faster at the same heart rate. I feel mentally better. There's a lot of benefits to this 2-hour runs. And my overall well-being, I'm in a really, really good place. So there's these benefits that happen by me exploring, again, these 2-hour runs. Heck, if you don't have that time, you do an hour run, you probably have some similar results as well. But I do like just running longer. Mental clarity, I got a lot of that with running for 2 hours. It's allowed me to solve a lot of problems while I'm out running around on a track or running the routes that I do. To be able to solve a lot of those problems, it felt good. Like, it felt really, really good. And in doing so, I'm more present, more engaged with my clients and family. And but when it gets stressful, man, the heart doesn't lie. The heart doesn't lie. It knows something's going on, and if something's going on, it'll show up in your heart rate. So you can kind of pay attention to that. Resting heart rate is a good thing to measure, to see what's happening. Because if something's happening at work or something happening personal or financial or whatever it is, look, you got to pay attention to this, because your heart rate will say it. You will have to slow down. If you are using heart rate training for your running, it will show. So pay attention to that. That's, again, it's something that maybe some of you guys who haven't been using heart rate training very often may want to explore. I clearly would feel better if I was running right now, but I'm stuck in construction trying to get over a bridge. Just going to my next appointment, and it's part of the job. I just want to run. See, I thought I would have a little bit of time in between, but clearly I don't. And I'm at a point now where it's like, yeah, this run isn't going to happen today. It's just the reality of my life right at the moment. Like, it's either I sacrifice sleep or I run. Take the pick. It's never fun. The one thing I have to say is I live in a very beautiful part of the country, and we have like long trails. This was an old rail line, and they tore up all the tracks because they were no longer needed, because trucks kind of came into play, and now we use this for biking. Like, so you can travel like 50 kilometers, if not more, using these old rail lines that have now turned into crushed gravel trails. It's a beautiful part of the country. I absolutely love it. And one of the things I've wanted to do on these trails was I was going to run a 50 miler on one of these way back when, but it kind of changed, and I ended up running in the Bruce Trail, which is a trail system in Canada that's like 900 kilometers long. It's quite amazing. And like I always say, guys, get out and run.